It's a good day to be saved, good day to be in Him, good day to be, as some of you would say, thankful. But we want to make sure that we are absolutely 100% grateful for all things. All righty, we're going to get started right about now, and our moderators who are coming on with us, we're going to be inviting you all to come on up on platform, giving you all the microphone to speak. We are in a Bible book club tonight, and I hope that you all will take the opportunity to join us. Please mute your microphones, please. Please mute your microphone. Elder Rod. All right. Yahweh be praised. All right. Let us go live here, and we're going live here. You're all going to get invitations to come up on platform. Please accept them. As this is a Bible book club, not so much me teaching, but we will be doing some teaching inside of it all. All righty. Hope that you all are prepared and ready. Let us get started. Shalom Aleichem to each and every one of you. This is, again, the Bible Book Club. We're glad to be here with you, hoping you all get opportunity to experience this in a way that is conducive to all things Elohim. All righty. Let's get started. Father, we thank you. We grace this place only because of you. We're asking for your spirit and your praise or your glory to be granted us in this time of study. For those of us who have gathered in your name, we've gathered to learn of you and to seek out your wisdoms in all things. You give it liberally, you upbraideth it not, and we're just glad to be in the space one more time in you. The world has celebrated what they call Thanksgiving. Ideal is a true one, a real one. We should be thankful every day. We should be grateful all the time. And Father, though the narrative may be somewhat conflicted and convoluted, we know the purpose in our hearts to say thank you today is from our gratitude for what you give unto us. So we ask today that you be with us as we open up your writ to study, having enjoyed our families and all things at our man-made holiday. Fun, family, friends, football, basketball, sports, good food. Thank you for the provisions. As we give your name glory, we give your name honor, and we give your name the praise. To you now be dominion, might, and power, both now and forever. In the precious and the matchless name of Yeshua HaMashiach, we decrease all that we are so that you could be increased in all that we do in this moment of time. And that we ask in the precious name of Yeshua HaMashiach. We all say and we all pray, Amen. Good to have you all with us. I'm glad you're all with us on the streaming video streams as well. Those of you on the video streams of Facebook and YouTube, would you please just hit the heart sign, hit the like sign. Y'all know the deal. Hit the heart sign, like sign. Gives our algorithm a chance to get moving and going. And it's actually something I really would wish you guys could give me. We don't ask for much. We just really need to get the algorithms going so we can help carry this gospel to the ends of the world. And I found out by some techie people that can help us accomplish that charge. And that's the biggest thing for why we do these video streams, so that we can help the word go to the rest of the nations. All right. So you would do this ministry a wonderful favor if you came on the platforms of social media, if you would share. And if you're on the video streams, please share it. Hit the like sign. Make a comment. It will be a great thing to have done. All righty. Okay. Can't make you do it, but we ask you for it. All right, let's get going. We left off last week, we're dealing with the conversations in the book of Bereishit, the book of Genesis, chapter number 18. We were talking from the latter part of 18, and we'll just pick up from where it went with Abraham talking to Yahweh after he had been told Sarai would bring forth son in that way. And then they shifted to two of the angels now needing to go down and deal with a city called Sodom and Gomorrah. So in Bereishit chapter 18, we're gonna be in chapter 19, but I want to go back to verse 18 so we can bring ourselves up to speed, because 19 sort of kind of really gets going with what happened. So,
excuse me, Apostle.
Shalom.
We can't bring anybody up.
Thank you. And we fixed that problem right now. And thank you. All righty. Okay. So now we look at Bereishit chapter number 18, verse and number 20. I want to bring the story in really, really hot. So let's go to verse number 20. That'll take us through 13 verses in that chapter, and then we'll move right into 19. I will not stop to moderate here, or I should say to narrate here. I'm going to go right into what is, in fact, the story. You're going to hear it. I'll read it my way, but you're going to hear it. I'm going to read it my way, but you're going to hear the word. I won't stop to do any narration until we get down into chapter 19. All right. Let's see how far we can get in the Bible tonight without Apostle talking. Let's let Yahweh speak. Verse number 20, Bereishit 18, verse number 20. Y'all ready? This should be fun. All right, let's get going. In this passage, we're going to see something, I think, very interesting that many should really pay attention to. In truth, it should be fun. And I want you guys to really kind of grab it and run with it. All right. Here we go. Verse 20. And Yahweh spake and said, because of the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah, and it being so great, because their sin down there is very grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me, and if not, I will know. Verse 22, Bereishit 18:22, Genesis 18:22. And the men turned their faces from thence, and they went towards Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before Yahweh. And Abraham drew near and said, wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for 50 righteous that are therein, that be far from thee to do after this manner? I mean, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked that be far from you, Yahweh? Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? You know what I can't stand? I said I wasn't going to narrate, so I got to keep my word. I was going to narrate right there. It was in my innermost sprite to say something there that I think that the world should have had it known. So let's go back to verse number 26. And Yahweh said, listen, if I find Sodom has 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sake, Abraham. Verse 27. And Abraham answered and said, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto Yahweh our Adonai. I realize I'm just dust and I'm just ashes, but peradventure, verse 28, there shall lack 5 of the righteous. If there's not 50, say there's 45. Will you destroy the city for the lack of 5? Adonai said, if I find there to be 40 and 5, I won't destroy it. Verse 29 says, and he spake unto him yet again and said, peradventure there shall be 40 found there. And I will, and he said, I won't destroy it if I find 40. Verse 30, Abraham said unto him, oh, let me not Adonai be, let not my Adonai be angry. And I will speak one more time. Peradventure there should be 30 found down there. And he says, okay, I won't do it if I find 30 there. Verse 31 said, behold, now, Abraham says, I've spoken I'm taking the opportunity to speak yet again unto you, Adonai. Peradventure, there's only 20 found there. And Adonai said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. And he said, oh, let not Adonai be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure, 10 should be found down there. Adonai said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake. Verse 33 says, Yahweh went his way, and as soon as he had left communing with Abraham, Abraham returned unto his place. Verse chapter 19, we're starting a fresh chapter. Let's get started. Verse 1 says, and there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, he arose to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, oh, my lords. Now that word Lord is small L-O-R-D-S, small lowercase L-O-R-D-S. That word Lord there is the word for the word is Alb, A-B-W, A-W-B, meaning like father or like chief, like a forefather, someone of patrimony, a principal player, like a master. All right. So in verse number, I'm going to pull this up for those of you watching. Very few of you are watching, actually. So I'm going to let you guys see it anyway. I want to help you guys read the way I'm reading with this. We're going to go through this again. For Genesis chapter 19, verse number 1. He goes on to state, Lot sat at the gate of Sodom. Seeing the angels coming, he met them. He bowed himself down before them. Verse 2, Genesis 19:2, Bereishit 19:2. And he said, behold now, my lords, my albs, my masters, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house and tarry all night and wash your feet, and you shall rise up early and go on your way. And they said, nay, but we will abide in the streets all night. We're going to be hanging out in these streets of Sodom all night. Yeah. Verse 3 says, he pressed upon them greatly. Listen, you might not want to do that. These dudes down here is a trip. They're a little weird, and I don't want y'all. Listen, just come to your servant's house. Let me wash your feet. Let me get you some food. Let me. And then when you get up in the morning, I know you got to rest. It's late. Then just go your way. Okay. How about that? How about that? How about that? How about that, masters? How about that, Ubs? How about we do that? I was like, yeah, nah, we on a mission. We came down here to abide in the streets. We gonna hang out in these streets all night long, all night, all night, all night long. Hey, all night long. All right, y'all don't find that funny. I thought it was funny. So anyway, he told them. They said the angels said to Lot, nah, we're not here to be served like that. But what we're going to do is we come to find out what we came to find out. And we're going to be in these streets all night long. So he pressed upon them greatly, he says. And then they said, all right, okay. All right. So they turned in with him. And he entered into this house. And he made them a feast. And they did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. Y'all didn't get that? Did y'all see the storyline there? Nobody saw the storyline there? Lot did not want them to go down into Sodom because they are out of their minds down there. not knowing, Lot, that the angels came at Yahweh's command to see just how wicked these people had become. And yes, I sang the Lionel Richie song all night long. He said, "Look, why don't y'all come to my house? I see who y'all are. I know who you are. Come to my house. Don't go down in the streets. Just not a good thing." And so Lot begged them, and he actually persuaded the angels to come into his home. The problem was, in these weird cities that have gone completely perverted, we got lookouts. So when you live like I've been accustomed to living, you got lookouts in your city, you got narcs on the top, you got your runners, you got your captains. And so I can imagine that when Lot talked to these angels out in the public, in the open, the lookouts for the city was like, woody woo, cacao, cacao. Yo, we got some new merchants coming through. Yo, they get ready to get got. I'm sorry, y'all don't like my Ebonics. I'm gonna have fun with this. You know why? Because y'all been celebrating all day. Y'all got that tryptophan, and y'all need something to keep y'all awake. All right. And so they like, yo, whoop, cacao, cacao. We got the get got right there coming. Two tall guys. So Lot was able to convince them to turn into his house before they went down into the city. But there had to be some folk watching. There's always somebody watching. So the storyline tells us, as we go back to the story of Sodom, y'all, this is funny. I don't care what y'all say. Say, cacao, cacao, woo, woo, woody, whoop. There you go. Whoop, there it is. And everybody know what that means. So they're like, oh, yo, we got fresh meat. And I say that to be not only funny, but that was a factual statement you're going to read about in just a moment. So watch this. In Genesis chapter number 19, verse number 3. So he pressed on them greatly, and they turned unto him, and they entered into his house, and he made him a great feast. And he did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But here we go. Before they lay down, the men of the city. Now, how they know they was there? I try to tell y'all, woody whoop, cacao, cacao, whoop, there it is. Hey. There's just signals that go on in the city. Now, I'm adding that, of course, I'm having fun. This is the VWJ interactive version of the Bible tell. All right. So verse number 4 says, before they lay down, the men of the city, before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, they surrounded the man's house, the old men and the young men, all the people from all quarters of the city. And they called out to Lot, yo, Lot, I know you in there. I can smell the goat meat. Lot. Lot comes outside, verse 5, and they say unto Lot, where are the men? Where they at? Bring them out. Bring them out. Oh, y'all don't. Yeah, okay, all right. I'm gonna tell the story like the story is told, so y'all gonna learn. Where they at? Bring them out. Verse 5. We're in Genesis 19:5. And they called unto Lot and said, where are the men which came into this night? Bring them out to us, that we may know them. Now, I need to talk very clear to some of y'all, and I know you've all heard the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, and we know that this is a part of the alternative lifestyle that we know and we deem to be an abomination based on the Torah, which will be established many years after Lot's alive and Avram's alive. But we also know that this deals with a wickedness and a perversion that Yahweh is just not he does not endorse. And so we all know what has been preached about Sodom and Gomorrah. We know the alternative lifestyle. This is same sex on same sex style relationships, and they just live the way that they want to live. They live, quote unquote, free to be whatever they think they should be. We get that. But I'm going to make this story so real, it's going to offend some of y'all. Are y'all all right with hearing it for the real? Or y'all don't now? If I hear anybody snoring because y'all ate too much turkey and dressing, I promise you I'm gonna call you out. If you snoring, I'm gonna check your microphones just to make sure you're not asleep because that tryptophan that hit y'all. All right. So, verse number 5, they called him and says, "Where are the men? Bring them out here to us tonight, that we may know them." That word "know them" is in fact the word yada. And that word yada, by the knowing of them, means to, in a variety of senses, really, get to know who they are. So they may know them. Now, we understand also that getting to know them was, in a way, not cool. It would be to have their way with them. So verse 6 says, Lot went out the door to the men, and he shut the door behind him. You know how you open the door when somebody knock on your door? Yo, hey, yo, I know you in there. I see the lights on, and they knock on the door, and you open the door just wide enough for you to slide through the door sideways, and then you shut it. That's sort of kind of like the way Lot went out the door. He sort of got to slid through the door, and then he pulled it tight behind him, right? And verse 7 says, and he says, "I pray you, brethren." Bruh, hey, come on, y'all. Really? Not, man, look, listen. Don't do this. Don't do this tomfoolery y'all be doing. Don't do this. Don't do so wickedly. Don't do this wickedness. Don't spoil these. Don't spoil this. Don't be good for nothing. Don't afflict these people. Don't do this evil. Don't show yourselves to be perverted. Don't bring harm. Don't vex. Don't deal badly with these people. Don't do this. Verse 8 says, "Behold, I tell you what, because I know how crazy, I know how wicked, I know how perverted, I know how, to me, disgusting you are with what you do. Now I'm here, y'all know me, and we good, and I'm cool with it. We make money together, and that's good. But listen, these are actually guests of mine in my home. I'm asking you to treat them like they're guests of mine. All right." And I can imagine Lot looking at these boys in their eyes, these men, young men and old men. He knows which ones will go as far as to kill you. He knows which ones will go as far as to tell you yes and then sneak around your back door and snake you. He knows these boys, how they're thinking, these men, how they're thinking, these people, how they're thinking. And he's looking at their eyes, and they ain't buying. They came with you. Lot makes a decision I can't say I would have made. I just can't. Knowing there was angels or not, I just don't. I would have found another option. I might have thrown them a sheep. I don't think I would have, or maybe I don't know. I might have given him some money. I wouldn't. Lot says, look at what Lot says in verse number 7. He says, "Don't do this, brother." Verse 8. "Behold, now, listen. Let's make a deal. Since y'all not listening to me, just listen. Look, I got two daughters. Y'all know I got two daughters, and they're virgins. They've not known a man, but so that you don't do this perversion that's in your minds to do, I will give you my daughters to satisfy this perceived craving you have. Let me bring my daughters out to you, and you do with them as is good in your eyes." Okay. Only these men, these ain't the same kind of men y'all used to. Don't do this to these men. For they came here to be under my roof. These are my guests. And if you need to and you feel it's necessary to encamp on my house like this, y'all know me. Don't I can't let you do what I know you do to these men. I'll give you my daughters. See, I don't know if I got brothers on the platform because they're probably still watching the games. But ladies, I want to reverse this in your thinking. What if your father you knew loved you, loved his family? I love my daughter and those that I've adopted who are my daughter's best friends, and they couldn't be any more my daughters if they came out of my loins themselves. But I'm not giving my daughters, I'm not giving my children. Like Messiah, I told Yahweh, I'm like, I don't know if I would give my children, my son, to die for some people who are just hell bent on not serving you and not worshiping you. I don't think I would have. The church people I know, the church people I know, not gonna happen. I'm not giving my son to die for none of y'all. Facts. Especially now I know the truth. But I don't think it would be something I would consider to give my son to die for you. And I've told you what to do and shown you how to do it and then giving you an example of what it looks like. And then you still do it your way. And then me give my son to pay your debt, which means he had to die. My son had to die for you who would not follow the instructions to keep you out of the situation. I'm not giving my son to die for you. I am not Elohim. I'm trying to be like Yeshua, but I'm still having a hard time. That's why I love Elohim, because he did the thing that I don't think we really give him enough respect for. What? That's God. What do you mean we don't give God respect? We don't. Because even though I know I would not give my son and definitely would not give my daughters to a bunch of pot-belly, grotesque, rough, scraggly, funky, musty, perverted weirdos, so that two merchants, two angels could pass through. It clearly Lot didn't know the power of these angels, or maybe Lot was trying to save them. I'm still not giving my child for none of y'all. Now, y'all get mad at me because I say that, right? But
Not at all.
you ain't doing it neither. I can't get one witness.
Tough one. That is a tough one. Amen.
I can't get one witness.
Not one
It's
child.
not happening.
Not
I can't get one
Not
witness.
happening.
I'm with you.
It just ain't gonna happen. I'm not letting it go down. And
I get mad just the idea of it.
just the thought of it, right? But you know, people will act like, oh, I'm God's child, I would do it.
No.
We talk a good game, don't we? We talk a real good game. And it sounds good. And we probably would think we could pull it off. But I assure you, I sit and think about this all the time. I ain't found it in me to do that yet. And I love y'all with all my heart. I promise you. I already give my time to the point where I can't even hold a decent relationship with people because of the fact that people can't understand the call on my life and how circumstances interfere with my world. And because people think that your world and their world are the same, though we make it look easy, they're not. So if I feel that way about the time I give, and to know how that gets disregarded, disrespected, miscategorized, mischarted, misunderstood, and then renders assumptions and accusations that are unfounded because it's not your business to know what circumstances keep me from certain commitments I'd like to make. But because of my life and what I do, and those who are in leadership understand that when a priority hits, it hits. And when life comes, it comes. You got to deal with it as it comes. No matter where your heart is, no matter what you want to do, you have to do what is as you've been called to do. And that's just time. I say this with my whole soul attached. I would literally be damned if I gave my child for the foolishness of this world. Not after I trained them to keep the foolishness of this world out of their soul and out of their spirit. And then I give them for the foolishness of this world, and particularly a world that I have been constantly stretching out my hand towards. See, I don't think we take enough interest in the real story of Lot and his dilemma. As a man, I'm thinking, I remember years ago when I was thinking this, I'm like, Buddy was going to give up his daughters, his virgin daughters, who are just as valuable to him. Let's just put this in another context. Can we stretch the bubble here a little bit? Will y'all let us just stretch the bubble on your thinking a little bit so you can really comprehend the depth of this storyline? Can we stretch our bubble? If y'all want to stretch the bubble, say stretch the bubble.
Stretch the bubble.
Stretch the bubble.
Stretch the bubble.
See, if you had a virgin daughter at that time, that virgin daughter was worth probably as much, if not more, than some of your cattle, much of your cattle, because not that your daughter was a product for sale, but the concept of the dowry and having a virgin daughter was very significant to the people of that day. Mods, please. And so when we realize this, these daughters are very valuable to him. Granted, Lot is a very, 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 very rich man. That's why they don't deal with him. At least we don't think they dealt with him. We don't think they dealt with him. We don't think they tried him. All right. But Lot was also a part of the group that got rescued. All of Sodom and Gomorrah has now been rescued. Y'all remember the story of Abraham and the valley of the Vale, when the kings Kedlamar came and took Sodom and Gomorrah away, and Abraham came and rescued them. Do y'all remember that story?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Y'all remember that story? So you think Lot now is like a hero in their area, because if it wasn't for Lot, they wouldn't have been saved.
True.
Come on, y'all think. How many of y'all read the first few verses we did in a couple chapters back when Abraham saved Sodom and Gomorrah from a band of kings who ran rampant all over that nation, over that region?
Yes.
And the only reason Abraham went to get them was because of who, y'all?
Lot. Lot of his family.
Because of Lot.
Yeah. So you think Lot got a good status with the people?
Yes, he had.
You think they just picked up that perversion like last night?
No.
So they had to be in that way long before.
True.
So Lot got to have some status with these people, which is why they come knocking at his door. Because it seems like to me, because I know some brothers. I know some brothers and some others. And if they want to, they will run roughshod all over you, and they ain't got no second thought about it. They respected him. They didn't bust down his door. Now, when the whole city comes at your door, I'm gonna say it again, because I don't think we read these stories slow enough. KYC, what do you do with the Bible? What do you do when you read the Bible, KYC?
You read it slow.
Read slow.
I know there's more graduates than that from KYC. What do you do with the Bible, KYC?
You read it slow.
You read it slow. You read it slow. And so when you think about it, the whole city of men, young and old, came to surround his house. What you think made them stop? Had to be the respect for Lot, because Lot saved them just by being amongst them. Can I give you a prophetic word right now? Cool, baba.
Please do.
Y'all want a prophetic word? Here it is. Watch this. There are some people who are still alive and still afloat, still in business, because you're in their presence.
Amen. Amen.
Y'all didn't hear me. I'm gonna let y'all go back to eating y'all turkey. Your company is still around because Yahweh promised to provide for you.
Hallelujah.
Glory.
There are people that did not get their wig snatched because you were involved and you were hanging around and you were nearby. There are certain things that took place that were taken but had to be returned because of your involvement, i.e., your residential status amongst them who may have deserved to have been snatched. The only reason those cities, Zor, Sodom, and Gomorrah, was saved was because of Lot.
That's right. So true.
Somebody say, I matter. Say, my presence matters.
My presence
matter.
My presence matters.
My presence matters.
That's a good word, sir.
So we need to really pay attention to this. Now, though Lot was a savior at one end, Lot's taken a real personal interest. And he didn't even realize he was a savior when Abraham came and got him. But he now is in the same situation where he is now about to do something to help somebody else. And he doesn't even really have to do this because y'all know these angels, they're going to whoop that behind. Yeah, they is. They're going to put it on them, right? They're going to get a shock of their life when they try what they've been trying with other merchants coming through that city. Oh, y'all don't like to get this deep in the story? Because y'all churchy, we Christians. We're not supposed to talk like that, Mr. Apostle Man. Okay, we're going to get into it right here. So Lot is understanding where their minds are. They've literally accosted his home. He knows what this means. I'm certain he's seen worse. And when the mob marches, there's nothing that will stop them from going for what they want. You think the building stopped them from snatching, supposedly attempting to snatch these two men out of Lot's custody? Something greater had to do that. So if you read the story of Kedlamar and you really know your Bible, you now have to connect these two stories. So if you notice when we're reading about the story of Abraham coming back, winning them with the 319 that he had, and meeting Melchizedek, because everybody stops at that point and just focuses on the story of Melchizedek, and you should. However, you cannot disconnect the storylines even to this point. So Lot's favor in this region, in this metropolis of Sodom and Gomorrah, is huge. The kings know who Lot is. They know his role in Abraham coming to bail them out. Remember in the story of Abraham and the kings, Sodom and Gomorrah, after he defeated Kedlamar and the 5 kings, that the king of Sodom came to him and said, give us back the people and just take all the money. Just give us back our people. That was the first sign of the perversion. Y'all didn't pay attention to that? Okay, let me help you. Yes, you want your people back. But they're like, we don't care. We are so like-minded. We'll reproduce anything we made because of the way we are. They were did y'all know that Sodom and Gomorrah was so industrial? They were so financially well off. Did y'all know that?
Yes, sir.
Now, can I say this without being considered hate speech? I'm speaking historically. Y'all gonna let me teach y'all tonight, or I gotta stop and keep reading? I should keep reading. Okay, I'll keep reading.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Teach, sir.
So just teach.
Sodom and Gomorrah was so industrial. Sodom and Gomorrah already has this enigma over them, and they already have this reputation of them that they were into what we would consider alternative lifestyle, which you today have now had thrown in your face, pushed in your gear, jammed down your throat in every commercial and every song and every movie, every video now, everything, even in your food, is just pushed in your face. You're going to hear this. You're going to accept us no matter what. And this whole alphabet gang, I call it. LGBTQ, RSPSTND, all of it. With all due respect, I don't know what y'all want me to call y'all. I don't know what pronoun, what synonym to call y'all anymore. So it's just what it is. All right. I got nothing against you. You live your life. You do what you do. I'm talking historically, which actually complements the group. And I'm not glorifying it, but I want you to understand the history of that spirit. I call it a spirit. It is. I have a spirit. It has a spirit. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but principality, power, rulers of darkness, this world, spiritual wickedness in high places. For those of you who wonder why I'm just rambling on, I'm not. I'm keeping myself from a lawsuit. And if you were keen in the spirit, you would begin to pray for me that I keep my words right so it doesn't become hate speech. And it's not a lawsuit, because it's not hate speech. It's a history lesson. So Sodom and Gomorrah is modern day LGBTQ.
Yes.
And they drive your financial market. Making money wasn't a problem in Sodom or Gomorrah. Lot made money with them. Lot was already wealthy. Money matched with money. Your appetites are a different story. So you can understand that these are the same types of scenarios. It's been existing forever. You're never getting rid of it. You had the issue back in the time of Noah. That's way before Lot, way before Avram. It's never going to stop. It's always going to be a part of your world. And I want Christians to stop going after it in a stupid way. STUPID, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, a stupid way. You can't tell anybody what to and what not to do, how to and how not to live. All you can do is live the life you have a conviction of, because they're going to live theirs. Their conviction is no less old than your conviction. I don't care if it affected your child or your niece or your nephew or your uncle or your granddad or your grandma. Shoot, your dad. It's a spirit. You don't wrestle against flesh and blood. But whatever that flesh and blood allows to move it and direct it and guide it and govern it, that's what you war against. That spirit is as old as the good spirit you believe you operate under. So Sodom and Gomorrah is modern day LGBTQ. In that region, they ran things. There were no police to stop this mob. The king was with it. Y'all not going to talk to me today?
You're right.
Now, this becomes offensive. As I can see, I've lost half our viewership. Okay, cool. Yahweh be praised. But I can't take history away from you. Matter of fact, some of us have walked right by history, which is why we don't understand the condition we're in today. And we don't know how to address the situations we're in today. Partly that it's not your business what someone else does. It's your business to live the word as you know it to be lived. However, if you are living it right, those who see you, when they run into conflict in their choice, they may consider your choice as the way out of their previous choice. But if you're going to tell me that I'm this, that, and the other, a dog, or the creature from the Black Lagoon, and I don't deserve to live, and I'm going to die and go to hell and burn in a vat of oil with some extra fire and spiciness put on it, why would I ever come to you once I find myself in conflict with a choice I made?
So true.
That's real talk, Apostle.
Amen.
Y'all okay? Y'all all right? So this ain't some new thing just because President Barack Obama gave by law a rights for same-sex marriage. And now you see the rights being passed in Congress, which is now inundated with a Sodom and Gomorrah mindset and a populace very similar to the construct of that Sodom and Gomorrah government. They have as much right to live as you do. The issue becomes you need to know how to deal with it. And the way we've been dealing with it isn't the way it should be dealt with, because it is actually hate speech. It is hate upon them. If it does not go in agreement and alliance with how you live, to each his own, you just make sure you're living what you preach. In the words of Barry White, practice what you preach. So because they now have rights to marry, and now their marriage, though different, in Congress, there's a law being passed right now to give what they call equal marriage rights. So if the marriage that is now not between a masculine and a feminine is between two feminine and two masculine, it is to be recognized as a marriage previously set by masculine and feminine. So now you have to recognize marriage of any sort. That's law. It ain't different. It's not strange. It is not something obscure. It may be by our Bible against Elohim's will for life, but it ain't nothing new at all. So when I look at Sodom and Gomorrah's story in Genesis 19, I look at Lot's dilemma. I look at the sacrifice of our Elohim giving his only begotten son. When I look at him running Abraham through the practice of sacrificing and considering and carrying out or laying out a plan to sacrifice Yitzhak for the world, and Yahweh saying, I'm going to do this. I want you to know how I feel. And then Abraham getting there, 3 days having to think and ponder. We were promised a son. And now Yahweh, you want me to sacrifice this son. I can't even tell his mother. So for me to sit as a man and look at what Lot is about to do for a people he know don't deserve it, in his mind, based on the way he lives. Now he may see it differently, but he is coexisting. Lot did not leave from this region as wealthy as he was. Did anybody ever stop to think, before you go off on all this that you've heard about this alternate lifestyle and how you should be disgusted and it should be disdaining to you? Don't be a part of it, but you may have to live around it or leave. Lot doesn't leave. All this time, Lot is there prospering in that land. Why you think they didn't knock his door over? I'm quite sure if he called them perverted, if he called them directly to your face, you people are crazy, you people are going to hell, you people are going to burn in a vat of oil with extra hot sauce, all of this, you think they wouldn't have knocked over his door, kicked in his gate, pushed down all of his walls and his windows and broke them, took him and the men? I have to use this as a teachable moment. Are y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
So before you think I'm giving over to that proclivity, or I'm giving over to that way, or I'm trying to find a way to do this or to do that or to say the other, I'm not about that life. I'm straight, man. Straight. Straight. With a razor, that's a straight blade, and a gun, that's a straight shot. All things straight. However, you choose to live your life your way. I live by this governance. So I'm not giving some way for us to let an inclusive community be acceptable. I'm not normalizing it. I'm just telling you it's always been normal. You got to choose this day who you're going to serve. And some people can't come back from that side because we who made our choice this way ignorantly don't know how to let others be. And if your life is as you say it should be, I wouldn't feel the funk and the vitriol of your hatred and your judgment about me, so that if I, in fact, walk into a quandary in my decision of the life I thought was for me, and then I look out trying to get out of it, but you're the only thing I see, and you're telling me about hellfire and brimstone, and I can't be forgiven for what I've done because I'm an abomination, why from hell would I come to you to ask you any other questions? Christian, with the answer of life. You can't bully me into coming to talk to you. And when I'm vulnerable enough to come out of what I'm into, I am role playing in my head, y'all. When that person is vulnerable enough to come out of what they're into because they've realized this really ain't what I want, this ain't really what I thought, where do I go? They will bypass you at every possible outlet. That's how you got LGBTQRSE and every other pronoun you got, because they couldn't, when they wanted to come out of the conflict they had, find a safe place to go and put their feet to get their bearings. They made up a whole new splinter of it to justify. Well, I don't quite want that, but I want some parts of it. So since they're not doing it the same way, I'm going to make it this way. That's how you got all of these variables. Oh, you know who else did that? The Christian church. From the time you separated from the Protestant, from the time you became, you didn't even know it, but those before us became the Protestant movement. They separated from Catholic Christendom, became protesters of Catholicism, i.e. the Protestant movement. Now you got what? Matthew, you got Methodist, Baptist, Presbyterian, Lutheran, Wesleyan. I don't want that part. I think that they should not be submerged in water. So we're going to come up with a new method of baptism. And that's how you got the Methodists. Guys, this is no new thing that they have so many splinters. That's why in Christendom, I say the same thing about Christians as I say about the alternative lifestyle community. And this is not hate speech, because that means I'm hating both of you. I'm not hating either. You make your choice. But here's the catch. Listen, I don't know what to call you as a Christian no more. If I call you Christian, you like, I'm Baptist. If I call you, I'm Church of God. I'm Church of God in Christ. I'm Methodist. I'm Presbyterian. I'm SDA. I'm SDAE. I'm SDAU. I'm SDA Baptist. I'm SDA Methodist. What the heck is all of this? I'm Church of God only. I'm Jesus only. Who are you? And then you got these guys. You think that they're weird, and you don't think you're weird because we do the same thing that they're doing. They're like, well, I don't want that part. It hurt my heart. And so I'm going to go, I want this, but I'm going to do it my way. You know, and this is like the whole Frank Sinatra situation. I did it my way. And that's where we all are. This spirit is as old as dirt. This ain't new. Y'all not going to let me talk today?
Teach, sir. Please. Please teach. Wow.
So who is the weird one? Everybody has to choose. Joshua made a statement. We never paid attention. We paid attention to it because we preached it, but we thought it was just about coming out of your sin. You have to choose this day who you are going to serve. And you can't judge somebody else because they don't choose the choice you made. Just like you can't judge somebody else because you sin a different way than they sin, or they sin a different way than you sin, because all have sinned and come short of the glory of Elohim. You think that gossiping about what you saw some preacher do or somebody fall or how somebody fell from grace, and you think that you going to verbalize it is going to get you into heaven any more than the person that fell from grace, how they fell and what they fell from. You telling that story, you gossiping, you running and adding and running and tell fables and tales, you sitting there and murdering your brother or your sister. Dear heart, they are both sins. I don't care how well you preached it, what pericope you use to attach it to the context of your dialogue and sermonic render. That's living in iniquity while you in the church. That's why the LGBT community and the alternative lifestyle community has their own church. Man, forget that. They got their own Bible now. How do you think that came about? What do you think pushed that narrative? Could it be the way we may be responding to things that we thought we understood? I'm going to drink my water and calm down because it's Thanksgiving. Y'all just ate. Don't burp on me. Please don't burp on me. That'd be so rude. Y'all okay? I'm just having fun. Y'all all right? Y'all don't like, no good? This not good? Okay.
It's good, sir. It's good.
This is amazing revelation, Apostle. I appreciate that.
And it's all factual. It's all sitting right out here in public for us. You have alternative lifestyle churches who preach your Bible, listen to your sermons and mine, and then take those sermons and mine and use them to bring a message of hope and unity. They just believe that God does not have a problem with what they're doing. How we can circumvent what the word says is still not a mystery. I understand it because we do it in every other belief system as well. Just like it's no different. Just like when we talk about certain denominations don't believe that women can preach, or some denominations of Christianity reading the Bible don't believe that speaking in tongues is a real thing, or that miracles are still being done, or that apostles still exist today. We find a way to override what we read for the convenience of our doctrinal preference and how we perceive it. And guess what? You're free to do that. But the moment you knock somebody else for their perception of how they receive, though they may be wrong, shoot, they're saying the same thing about you. This is why when we understand the purpose of what the writ gives us, if you focus on the writ and not focus on the mob associated to the way you came into the writ, you and those who seek Elohim will meet up at Elohim together. And the life that Elohim prefers, you will then find the 7,000 that has not bowed knee to Baal. I'm talking better than y'all saying amen. If y'all know I'm talking better than y'all saying amen, just say you right about it. Just type in you right.
You right about it.
You right about it.
You right about it.
So Sodom and Gomorrah was a wealthy place. The alternative lifestyle systems that we are in right now, they run your movies. They run the high. You know what they did? They were so ridiculed by the quote unquote Christian America, who for some reason, I don't know where America got this idea. I hear what my evangelical brethren are saying. And I do know the historicity of the Constitution of America, which, by the way, has no more veracity. Just in case y'all didn't know, if you don't know about the meetings at Copenhagen before JW left the office, and the one that President Barack Obama had to sidestep, as well as the one that your buddy right now is all engaged in. The United States America Constitution, I know some of you from other nations, y'all got other issues in your countries and whatever, but I'm talking about where I live right now. We thought that great symbol of democracy, yeah, that's crumbled. You don't even know it. It's just sitting there. They're just waiting to drop the ink pen on it. so that you watch it shatter. That's where your one world order, one world bank, and one world faith comes from. Now, here's my point to this, and I'm not speaking conspiracy theory. These are facts. You just pay attention to CNN a bit more than BET, we might learn something. So here's the point that I'm making right here is that when we look at who controls what in this world, while we, Christian America, one day saying, in God we trust, ignorant enough not to know what God was the in God we trust. Because those who drew up the Constitution wasn't Christians. I know what my evangelical brethren are saying. I know those who profess Christianity. Pardon me. I am so wrong. Will y'all forgive me for being wrong? I repent. I have to back up because I'm wrong. They were Christians. Problem was we didn't know what Christian meant. Woo-hoo! Good God in Zion, help me now. Yes. You cannot call a Masonic lodge or a Masonic order an Eastern Star, no disrespect. That's got nothing to do with Messiah. Matter of fact, he tells you directly, leave it alone. So yes, what they did was they took all of this stuff and you want to call that? Well, those who wrote the Constitution are the same people who built the city called Washington, D.C., where the central government of the United States of America rests in. But if you pay attention to every symbol in Washington, it'll shock you to know what those symbols meant under the Messianic Code. Oh, you didn't know that was a lot of the Templar, the Christian Templar who called these holy wars. Y'all didn't know that they saw a lot of gods to know, and then they just put them under the God, and they just made sure that the temple's wealth and stuff got, and they did. Y'all didn't know all of that? Oh, okay. So yeah, Christian America. But which of the gods were they giving this to? And what God do we trust? Which one? Because the Masons, who are entrenched in everything that George Washington ever did, everything that the first presidents ever did, the building of the Capitol, the setting of Pennsylvania, the setting of Washington, D.C., the setting of Virginia, the setting of these shore cities, Charleston, New England, all of y'all, this stuff is real. So what God were we trusting in? And if I don't get in trouble for saying this, which I probably will, I'm not fighting to keep that symbolism in God we trust, because my God has a name. My God is Elohim. Elohe Israel. Let me say that in English. The God of Avram, Yitzhak, and Jacob. That is not the God of the Christian church. Go breathe, get it out. Exhale. Right. Go do your homework. Now we've repurposed Christianity and we've said the God that gave us Yeshua HaMashiach. Yeah. El Elyon. Now we have. But at the time they were doing what they did to build this nation, to build this country upon which we have established a whole bunch of things, because in the concept of what you know as the Masonic Lodge and its cohorts and its affiliates and its colleagues, they were about multiple faiths. They were about anything that had a divinity and learning about it and understanding it and putting it before the God of Avraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because in those days, for you who did not go to school to learn this, and the money I spent to learn this, I have no problem sharing it freely. You must understand that you had Jews at that time, and you had the Masonic Lodge. You had them incorporating the 10 Commandments, but they stripped it down. They didn't put the whole Torah into the whole process of building America, did they? They got the 10 things from that Torah that they thought was really cool and symbolized something that all of the divinities that they worshiped actually represented it. That's how you get the 10 Commandments inside the actual systems of our penal system and our judicial system. That's how it got there. And we tripping off the fact that they're taking it out like it's a direct attack against Elohim. No, it's an attack against democracy. Elohim is a whole nother story. Are y'all all right? Let me get back to Genesis. Let me go back to the Bible. Y'all don't want to hear this today.
Are you teaching good, sir?
Stay
right there.
I give too much for free. I think I need to make a course. If y'all pay for it, you might appreciate it better. I don't know. I can't get an amen, a hallelujah.
We learned it. We learned. Hallelujah.
It's so good, sir. You sure
Hallelujah.
learning, sir.
So back to Sodom and Gomorrah, which is what gets us here. There go my viewership. I knew it was going to drop, but it's all good. We all good. We're going to keep teaching. We're going to keep sharing. Sodom and Gomorrah is much like what we're facing today. And because of the ridicule that went along with those in the alternative lifestyles today, they were ridiculed and hate crimes and beaten up in the streets, and the whole words we would call the people who chose to live that way. And so they sort of kind of coddled themselves in the libraries of our schools and our colleges and our institutions and our institutes and our universities. And they learned engineering, they learned banking, they learned and studied computer science, political science. They learned and they studied. It's funny because the persons we always called weird, like the weirdo, or the person we always called the nerd, because maybe they didn't have charisma, but they had these appetites. Maybe they didn't have the popularity, but they were called weird because they were by themselves and you don't really know what they're thinking, and they got these issues. But it's funny because the nerds who we tried to step on in school are the very ones who are stepping on you in real life. Because we pushed them into those corners in the libraries, they came out learning everything that conferred wealth, influence, and power over to them. And now you answer to them. Yeah, that part. So while we were pushing the people who had issues with alternative lifestyle and then ridiculing them and damning them to hell, they stayed low, out of the way. They didn't want to get punched and hurt and kicked and beaten, and they just stayed to the books. We're going to write legislation. We're going to pass laws. We're going to get what we feel is equal, and we're going to be treated equally. We're going to learn how to penetrate and produce an environment that if you come for us, it will be called hate speech. If you come for us, it will be called actions of hate. If you come for us, it will be a felony. It will be a charge. It will be you can be arrested for how you treat us and not give us the equality that we deserve. These are the things that we in our culture are so busy about doing what we find is big and bright and lit for us, we never paid attention to. And therefore we never can connect it as to how this whole agenda, just like it was in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, because we thought when Messiah says, just as it was in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, so shall it be for this people who reject you. So y'all disciples go and knock on the doors of these people and tell them that Messiah is here. If they don't receive you, knock the dust off your feet. If you those houses that didn't receive you and you knock the dust off your feet, it will be worse for them than it was for those in Sodom and Gomorrah. It would be just like it was for them in Sodom and Gomorrah, because we know that what took place there was by Torah an abominable offense, right? They still chose, and they had to choose to be and to do and to be where they were. But your choice does have a consequence, right? But it ain't me who's going to judge you. And we got to stop acting like we're the judges. And just because we're telling out loud what the clause and the cause for this is, doesn't make us any more righteous, though we may be right. You can be right about something and not be righteous in it. No, too soon. I'm gonna say it again. You can be right and not be righteous in it. Okay.
That's right, sir.
Mm-hmm. And so when we look at what Lot was dealing with in that community he was in, he was able to live there, make money there while they still lived in the life that they were about. And they were sold out to that life. They were dead on with that life. They were dead serious about that life. But Lot never left, did he, y'all?
Not at all.
Did Lot leave Sodom and Gomorrah before Yahweh intervened? Because he heard up in heaven how bad they were acting. Come on, theologians, I need you to talk to me. No, Lot never left. Could he have? Yes, he could have. So Lot didn't have a problem hanging out with that alternative lifestyle society, community, two metropolises deep. He had no problem living there. He made money. He kept to himself. He was respected for whatever took place in the previous parts of these chapters of these verses, the chapters of this book. And, he rode that wave. And then Yahweh sent judgment. See, Lot didn't have to judge those people. Yahweh sent the word to judge them. Y'all do get that, right? They just happened to stop by Avram's first to let him know he's going to have a son. Like, for real, for real. And then they left Avraham's and went directly to Lot. Did y'all know that storyline connects right there in chapter 18? Did y'all ever pay attention to it?
No, I did not.
No, I did not.
So Yahweh sends his word to heal his land. Please don't leave me. I promise y'all, I'm not trying to come for y'all, nobody. I'm just teaching the truth. You don't have to judge anybody, people. The word does that on its own, on his own. You're just supposed to keep and shine the light. Keep your light burning. That's all we're supposed to do, is keep the light burning. We're supposed to be holding up the light, holding up the banner. We got to hold up the bloodstained banner. We got to hold it up until we die. We are soldiers in Yah's army, right? And your fight is not with them. Your fight is you holding up the banner in spite of what comes your way. Yahweh sends his word and he heals the land. I wish I were getting through today.
You're getting through.
I'm receiving.
You're getting through.
So while Lot is in this region, living and making money, I get sort of kind of bothered by the reality that people will be like, well, I ain't making money with them. I ain't doing nothing with them. The Bible says, be ye separate, saith the Lord. Yes, separate from lifestyle. Matter of fact, he was really talking about keep Shabbat. Separate your day on the seventh day and be with him. Separate from the world. Come sit with me. Let me show you how to operate in the world, because you got to go back. You got to deal with them. I didn't ask you to judge them. I asked you to live in front of them what I say humanity should look like. I didn't ask you to go in there and tell them, oh, I'm telling God on you. You just trifling. You nasty. You nasty. How we look? Just like that. See how childish that looked? Yahweh said, you go out there and you dress and you live the way I've taught you, I've raised you, I've given you instructions to live. And if I be lifted up, then I'll draw all men unto me. I didn't ask you to go there and judge nobody and point your finger in their face and browbeat them. I do this all the time, don't I? I just start talking, then I don't shut up.
But you're talking good, sir.
Okay. So looking towards where we need to be with all of this and how this needs to look and everything, and what needs to be explained and expressed, and how it should be and what it should look like. There is a need for us to understand what Elohim wants from us. And that is for us to live his word. Lot was about to give up his daughters. I'm still not there. I don't think I can give up. I don't know what I would do, but I know right now, having come through what I've come through with my experiences with Christendom, having left it and come back and been a part of it twice in two different phases of thought, knowing that Christendom has been repurposed and the words have been redefined and redesigned and all that goes with that. I can't say that I would give my son for any of y'all. What kind of pastor are you? You oversee how many churches? Something wrong with you. Yeah, I know. I just don't think you'd see it differently if you were really pushed to it. It's a great thought. How many of y'all know some thoughts are really cool until the rubber meets the road? Nobody? Just me? Again, it's just me again? Okay.
You're right. You're right.
It's a noble
Absolutely.
It's a noble idea. I want to be like Jesus. I want to be like Jesus. How I long to be like him.
Apostle, sometimes you be cracking me up. I'm sorry. You be cracking me up. And it be true though.
How much though? I mean, real talk. What would we really do? I think about it. I know the person I am, raised in the hood I was raised in. Let's think about the Garden of Gethsemane. If my roadie, who's with me in the garden, Peter, sees me getting arrested and guy puts his hands on me and Kiefer cuts his ear off so we can escape, giving us a fighting chance, I don't think I would have stood there. That's why it had to be Yeshua to do this, because I would have broke camp. I'd have broke camp just to make sure I was in control. Now, if I turned myself in, that's a different story. I'm not saying I might not turn myself in, but in that moment, I don't think my instincts would have been, good move, Pete. Good distraction. And as fast as I run in track, they ain't catching me. They're gonna have to throw 5 javelins to get me. I cannot say I would have stood there. Y'all looking at me like he should never have been a leader in any ministries anywhere, not one day of his entire life. Who in the ham sandwich? I don't eat pork. But anyway, what in the, because listen, look, even Messiah was in the Garden of Gethsemane for the very same reason. I'm saying I don't think I would have died for the people who kept trying to kill me when I came to die for them. I came to die for you and you still trying to kill me. I came to die for you and you trying to kill me. Isaiah told you I came to die for you and you still trying to kill me. You try to kill me at your time, on your track, in your way. You plot against me every day. You call my mother a floozy and a gardening tool, and you call my dad a chump, or the guy that I was raised with him, and you don't even know who I am. You're looking right in my face and don't know who I am, yet you say you serve me. Yet you say you are honoring me. Yet you say you are honoring me, and you're calling me, the word of Elohim, blasphemous. I don't think I'm ready to die for them. Messiah was very clear. He's like, Yahweh, I don't want to die for him. That's what happened in the Garden of Gethsemane. I don't want to die for him. I do not want. Is there a clause in the contract that has been written about me, by me, and of me, that I can postpone dying today on Nisan 14, the prophecy of Pesach? Nevertheless, if there's not as I will, let your will be done. So that means that Messiah, there was two wills at play there, the will of Elohim and the will of Messiah's flesh. See, I'm siding to the will of Messiah's flesh because I'm like, I'm not dying for these clowns. I don't think they're worth it. I'm sorry. I know I agreed to come and die, but they get on my nerve. And they talked about my mama. Did you hear what they said about my mama? I don't want to die for them. They're not ready. They're not mature enough. They're not worthy of the sacrifice I'm about to make for them. Do y'all know that that's what happened in the garden?
That was the struggle.
Okay, I'm supposed to be reading the Bible, and I'm way up in the New Testament. So, verse number 8, we're in Genesis 19, Bereishit 19:8. So, Lot. Let's go back to verse number 5. Let's go to verse number 4. Bereishit 19:4. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house around, both old men and young men, and all the people from every quarter. So there were women in there as well. This was a lifestyle. Verse 5, they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came in with you this night? Bring them here. Bring them out, let us know them. Verse 6, and Lot slithered out the door, shut it behind him, and said, guys, come on, man. I pray you, don't do this. Don't do this. Y'all know I got 2 daughters. They've not even been with the men. They're virgins. How about I bring them out to you? This man knows exactly what's going to happen to any human being, these horny jokers sitting at his door, what they're going to be dealing with, what's going to happen. I said that word. Oh my God, why is he so, who is this pastor, man? Why do y'all listen to this man? Listen to his verbiage. How does his vernacular even equal up to that which is necessary of leading in the institution of the faith of our God and Lord Jesus Christ? How does this work? How, who, why? He says, I'm going to bring my daughters out to you, that you may know them. I just pray, just don't do Do to them what you're thinking about doing to these men. For these are my guests under my roof. Verse 8, y'all. I pray you bring them out unto me. Do ye to my daughters as is good in your eyes. The whole city, Lot, the whole city is at your door. They want the new people that came through, and you're offering your daughters knowing what they're going to do to the new people that came through. Why is he focusing on this? Because I really need Christians to get out of a shell and think stop thinking this is a fairy goose story tale, a mother goose fairy tale. I got 2 daughters. I'll bring them out to you. Do what you want to them. Only to these men, don't do anything to them, for they come under my roof. Verse 9, they said, man, stand back. Move. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. Move. That's what they said. It said 9. They said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now, will we deal worse with you than with them? And they pressed sore upon that man, even Lot. And they came close to breaking the door. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them, and they shut the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. The men said to Lot, the men that were with him, the angels that came here, they said, Lot, I'm in verse 12, said Lot, verse 12 says at the top of your screens, and the men said unto Lot, have you here any others besides you here in this place? He says, my son-in-law. Verse 12 again. And the men said unto Lot, hast thou here any besides son-in-law and thy sons and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place. Whoever you got in this city, sons-in-laws, daughters, whatever you got in this city, Lot, bring it all out. Take it out of this place tonight, for we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxed great before the face of Yahweh, and Yahweh has sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out unto his sons-in-law, in which married his daughters, and said, up, get out, let's go, get out of this place, for Yahweh will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law. And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, all right, arise, get you and your wife and your 2 daughters who listened to you, which are here with you, unless you are going to be consumed in the iniquity of this city. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand and upon the hand of his wife and upon the hands of his 2 daughters. And Yahweh, being merciful unto them, brought them forth and set them without the city. Do y'all realize what just happened? Many of y'all read this story before, but let me ask if y'all saw what you actually just read. Who want to read verse 16 back to us and tell us what you thought you read? I overdid it with all my talking, didn't I? I messed up again, didn't I? I just talked too much, and y'all anybody want to jump in here? I know our viewership is down. So does anybody care to open up verse 16? Anybody think you see anything in verse 16?
Celia, I don't know if you can hear me.
Who are you?
My voice is faint. Celia.
Celia.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you
Yes.
now. What you got?
I don't have a voice to read
Okay.
the whole thing. But isn't it because of the discussion that they had with Abram, that Abram went through that whole discussion about the countdown because of Lot, and in favor because he considered Abram. He had mercy on Lot and he saved them and he spared them.
That's good. That's cool. That's relative. That's relative. That's relative. That's not necessarily in 16, other than the fact that there were not 10. Only Lot, his wife, and his 2 daughters. If his sons, apparently, and other daughters and sons-in-laws had come, that may have made 10. So they didn't even have 10. So they if you read the verse, that's a good point. I'm gonna stop right there. I want somebody else to chime in and talk to me. Anybody else see anything in the passage? Some of y'all just had some other light bulbs go off when I said that about the son-in-laws. Come on. Because you can't be a son-in-law if you ain't married. And if he got 2 virgins, clearly he had other daughters. I'm gonna say that one more time. The son-in-laws he has. I'm gonna say that again. The son-in-laws he has.
Apostle, can I speak? This is Mary.
Hold on, Mary. The son-in-laws he has. So if he's got son-in-laws, but he's got 2 daughters who are virgins, how is that possible? Because that's what we've done in Christendom. So if the son-in-laws decided to look at Lot as if he was a stranger to them when he made mention to them, come on out, let's get out of the city. Our problem is we don't know how many sons-in-laws he had. But we do know for a fact that he has sons-in-laws. So you can't have sons-in-laws, can you, unless you got other daughters, right? I just want y'all to think for a second. Mary, what you got?
Yeah, when we were reading it, that's what I noticed. I was like, oh, he had more daughters and he had sons-in-laws. But out of all of them, only 2 of the daughters came with him and his wife. And even in there, it said he lingered. He didn't just get, he told them to get up. But then it says in this verse that he lingered, which means he procrastinated a little bit. So where the men had to grab a hold of them to get them to leave. And I would say that's because he didn't maybe want to leave his other daughters and sons who choose to stay behind. And only these 2 daughters came with him.
And that's good, Mary, because that's the point. That's the point I wanted to see everybody catch on to. While Lot lingered, look at verse number 16. While he is Lot, lingered, the men, which were the men that came as angels, the angels that came as men, those men laid hold to Lot's hand, to his wife's hand, to the hand of his 2 daughters. And because Yahweh was being merciful, what are angels to Yahweh, y'all? Paul told you. What are angels to Yahweh? I'm not going to answer. Y'all going to answer this. I'm not going to answer this. I'm not going to answer.
Ministers to the heirs of salvation.
Who said that?
I'm sorry, Cuffy.
Who said that? Hey, Cuffy. Good to see you.
Cuffy.
Yes. That's precisely what they are. Paul said that they are ministering angels to angels are ministering spirits to them that are heirs of salvation. So what does it mean to minister in that sense? Does anybody know? To minister means to serve. So let's purposefully go back to verse 16. When Lot lingered, the angels, which means these would be angels of Yahweh. These would be a part of the heavenly host. So in verse 16, while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, his wife, his 2 daughters, and Yahweh Sabaoth, being merciful unto Lot. They brought Lot and his wife and daughters outside the city because it didn't seem like Lot and them was trying to leave, because they were lingering, hoping maybe somebody would change their mind from those that they loved, because they had many more than just the 4 of them. Lot was an empire in his own. You see how we just gloss over the story, and some might say, well, it's not necessary to learn it. Yes, it is. It's extremely important. Because even those in your own house will be a part of the judgment nobody really wants, though they've been living with you and rocking with you a long time, even your family. And ain't nothing you can do when Yahweh brings judgment. And no matter how much you linger, that will still be a problem. Good eyes, Mary. Anybody else? Y'all see anything else in 16? Okay. Verse 17. We talked to who said that? Who said that?
It was Wanda.
Okay, go Wanda.
I had saw the same thing, lingered, and when I looked it up, it meant that he tarried.
Correct.
So he tarried so long that they had to grab him by his hand.
Like, bruh.
That was the point that I was going to bring out, that Yahweh was merciful just to him because he wanted to stay. That was the part that stuck out to me, that he really wanted to stay.
I don't know if he wanted to stay as much as he was trying to. I think he was trying to see, because he did go talk to his son-in-laws and they mocked him because they were caught up in the mob. They were caught up in the spirit of that city, which is what Yahweh came to measure by sending the angels. If you remember the conversation he had with Abraham in chapter 18, he says, the cry of Sodom has come up to me. I'm coming to send down and see if it's true what I'm hearing. These jokers went way above and beyond. How you think you're going to rape an angel is beyond me, but, you know, just crazy. And some might get upset and say, why would you say that? Because that's literally what this indicts. That's the implication here. And you don't believe that? Why would he then offer his 2 daughters? I can't unread that. I can't get around that. And I'm not being stigmatizing or trying to, you know, nail any type of a reputation. It's just what the facts are. It's just the history. And so Lot, his wife, his 2 children, those 2 daughters, they had people that they loved. And quite frankly, they're not actually certain of everything that's about to happen. They know they've been told to get out, leave, take what you got. You got people here? Yeah, I got some people here. Get them and get out. Go now. Get out now. Take them and go. And Lot's like, okay. Now, if his family, all of his family would have come, I think Lot would have left. I think he was waiting for some family to come by the house so he can convince them, we got to go. The angel's like, bro, we don't have that kind of time. So I told you to get what you got. You went out, you talked to them. Listen, you went out and you talked to them and they refused you. They made their choice. It's time to go.
Wanda.
Go.
Now, I just me. I was looking at this just a little
Come
different.
on.
Not saying that that's it, but I looked at verse 9 when it says that they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot.
Mm.
And so, and it said that we will deal worse with thee. So when we get to verse 16, I kind of looked at that a little different when it said he lingered, which meant that he kind of tarried. So
he wouldn't, I don't think he would tarry knowing if what the angels say don't come to pass. Let's just put this scenario in a different light. Let's just say the angel scenario doesn't come to pass and he doesn't destroy the city. Lot staying there when they just said, you keeping us from our food, we hungry, we want them, and you keeping us from them. When we get done with them, we're going to deal with you a bit harsher. We're going to deal with you worse than we dealt with them. That's not an incentive to stay to me. I'm sorry. I can't subscribe. I'm not staying after you just told me the mob. Bruh, when we finish with this right here, we coming back to talk to you. And we're going to deal worse with you than we did with the two we're asking you for, and you playing blockage for, and you blocking, and you running interference for. So, you know, if the option for the angels, that the angels' words don't come to pass, which is not an option. In Lot's mind, he don't know. He's never seen the angels interfere, right? He's not with Abraham. Lot's not seeing this type of interaction, though he knows this is something divine. He recognized the divinity, the spiritual vibe of them, which is why he approaches them. He heard tell of Abraham some things, but he's never experienced this himself. He now runs into these individuals, and now who he's protecting them from says, we're going to deal worse with you than with them once we get through. So they're just about to break through the door. The angels step in, pull him through the door, lock it, shut it, blind them. He don't hurt them yet. He blinds them. I thought that was interesting. They blind the men so they can't even find the door. They're just pressing up on the door. Now they can't find the door, right? And then the angels are told, hey, get your stuff and get up, pack your grip and get out of Dodge. They then linger, waiting for loved ones to come. The loved ones don't make it. And the angel's like, bro, we ain't got that kind of time. We're here on assignment from El Elyon. All right, move. And they don't go. So the angels literally take them by the hand and take them to the outskirts of the city. I don't know if they telepathically transported them. I don't know if they walked them step by step. All I know is it says it took them outside of the city. Now, here's where I got a problem with a lot of people who say that this firestorm that we all know came on Sodom and Gomorrah was just some earth response to a meteor shower in the atmosphere at that time, which is a common occurrence. A meteor breaks up and then you got these rocks of fire falling to the earth. Yeah, that can happen. But when you tell me that they moved them out beyond the border of the city, this meteor shower is not going to be exact to the borders of Sodom and Gomorrah. That's Elohim. Does that make sense? Anybody ever heard that theory? I'm sure you've seen some of the television documentaries on disclaiming Bible miracles. I'm the only one that watches that stuff.
I've never heard that one.
I'll watch it.
Okay.
Watch it, but never heard that one.
Yeah, there's a theory that, you know, they disclaim the miracles of Moshe, the 10 plagues of Moshe. They disclaim them. The river Nile had a mudslide. That's how it turned to blood. That's what killed the fish, which brought the lice, which called the frogs. They played it all the way out. And then you have the story here of Sodom and Gomorrah. There was based on some, I don't know how, some proof of a regular occurring meteor disintegration in the atmosphere. If it comes too far in our atmosphere, it breaks up, and then it comes down as lava rocks on the earth and causes the fire that you see, which is the result of Sodom and Gomorrah was typical to that type of a site when a meteor broken up or whole would hit, the earth. Even to stuff like what happened in Pompeii, so, I have a problem thinking that this is though it would be, Yahweh could do whatever he wants to do, but to put them on the outskirts of the city and they not get touched mean that this was a targeted attack to me. I don't see a meteor being discretionary as to where it falls, unless it's a missile directed from the Father. You understand where I'm going with this? Okay, all the chatter in the box is over. All right. So let me see if I can get us out of this chapter. I might have brought us to a place. 19. Oh, Wanda, were you done? I didn't mean to stop your flow.
Yes, sir.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did I steal your thunder, or did I jump on top of something or anything?
No, I just don't think he was innocent. So no, we're good.
Okay, you don't think he's innocent? What do you mean by he's not innocent? I don't get that part.
You explained why he tarried.
I gave a scenario for why he tarried. You have a right to your perspective. I don't see how this would indict Lot being. You're saying he was. Tell me what you're thinking.
I don't know. I'm just looking at this a little differently now, because of even with them saying we'll deal worse with you than with them. So, and even when I think back to Abram asking Yahweh, well, what if you find 45? What if you just find one?
No. He does not say find one. He says 10.
Okay. I mean, I apologize.
But
when he's asking for, what if you find this many righteous?
10 righteous.
This many righteous. Right. And so it makes me just wonder when I look at this and with him lingering.
Okay, pause. If he finds 10, in what state of mind? The patriarch asked Elohim, if you find 50, maybe not 50, maybe 45, maybe not 45, maybe 30, maybe not 30, maybe 10. If you find them, in what state of mind? Righteous. So Lot would have to be, his wife would have to be, his daughters would have to be righteous to be removed. Correct?
Yes.
See where that goes?
Yes.
I do see where you went with that, though. But they would have to be righteous to be removed, because he came to do away with all unrighteous. If you should find 10 righteous, will you spare the city? So they didn't find 10. They found 4, and they removed the 4 righteous out. The daughters are virgins. The wife is his wife. and he is Lot, worthy of the angels coming to see him. You get it? The linger has to be, I dare say has to be, but the linger would be more about the love for those that he is now leaving behind, because he's told them, hey, this is about to happen. Y'all, come on, let's get out of here. And they're like, man, you tripping. Come on, Dad, get out of here. You always been a weird spiritualist. Get out. Rah, rah, rah. We're having a party. And him lingering, as a father, I'm sure most of you as mothers, you're like, to this day, some of y'all lingering for your son and your daughter to come home and get off of drugs, and your daughter and your son to come home and get out of that relationship. You just linger around waiting long enough for them to come so that you can talk to them, you know, and just get one more chance to share with them what you might know and understand so that they can have some more information. That's where I'm looking at it. Anybody else see it that way? Wanda, that's a great perspective. We don't disrespect it in any way, shape, or form. But understanding the narrative and the request, if you find so many righteous, sort of kind of in my mind, locks Lot in, his wife in, and his daughters, those two virgins, into righteous people that were being led by righteous beings out of an unrighteous city, which was about to get judgment for its wickedness. Leslie, go. Prophet, go.
I agree. I always looked at it as though I called them Mama and Papa Bear of the city. I think that they were more in the city than we realized. I think that, like you said, they lingered because not just for those that they had in the city. I think that they were prominent people in the city. And I believe that it was that they enjoyed that life, as you said, and it was hard for them to leave, you know, even their immediate family. But I think that they were like a papa and a mama bear, and that was like their city.
I hear you, Prophet. I can't go with the Papa Bear and Mama Bear, but I think you mean a mentality. I don't see Papa Bear and Mama Bear in the scriptures, but I get what you mean. They were matriarchal, patriarchal advice givers. They were people of prominence in the place. And again, the storyline, even if we don't even deal with them just being words of wisdom, the way that they dealt with them later is completely different. I mean, the way that they dealt with them, like Minister Wanda said, like, yo, we're going to deal with you worse. You know, once we get what we want, we're going to come deal with you worse than we deal with them. That's a threat. And it's probable, you know, I get what you mean by the Mama Papa Bear, but I can't. Yeah, you threw that in there. Yeah, I see. That's what we got to be careful of. We can take some levity, but yeah, we can take some levity, but we go. You know, yeah, Minister Wanda got calling a lot of stick-up kid. I mean, I don't even know what to do. She like, he's a thief, Apostle. That's why he was lingering. He was trying to get his money. His boy owed him some money. He's supposed to flip that and bring that back. He was lingering.
Yeah, and it's like you said, even with our children, and they know to do right and they don't do right. We say, I'm gonna get you when you get home. You know. Lot knew to do right, but Lot was entertained by the wrong. And I think that it did engulf them to the place that it was hard for them to tear away from it or move away from it. So, yeah, and I think because of the authority or
I got to be careful how we put that on platform. I can't say that Lot indulged in the life. Nothing here says Lot indulged in the life, but it does mean that Lot, when you read the story of Lot, how he got there, why he got there, how he was treated when he was there, it doesn't indict that he was engaging in the lifestyle of that region when it comes to this particular indictment and perversion for which Yahweh sent angels to measure. Lot was a part of the economic flow, I believe that, and he had established himself there for many a year. So I can't say he enjoyed the life of them because he called them wicked.
He called them wicked, but he pitched his tent.
That was long before though. That was, you got to remember, you got to go back to the beginning of when did he pitch his tent? How long has Lot been there? He's been there for a long time. He's probably been there since they started going into that vein. Remember, see, we can't ever, guys, and we can't ever forget. And this is why I love this great conversation. And thank you for jumping in here, Prophet. We and Minister Wanda, you too, please. And guys, I'm not saying y'all wrong, but I'm saying we cannot remove the Ritz narrative for our perception. So the Ritz narrative references righteous. Lot has to be righteous for the righteous beings to escort him out. Then we have to remember how Lot got there, how long ago Lot got there. And when you understand how long ago it was Lot got there, the way that the city now had become could have been something that was, in infantile stage when Lot got there years and years ago. And now the perversion has grown. It's taken over the makeup of the city. Because you couldn't say the LGBT community has in 1970 the same impact it has now in 2022, can you?
Not at all.
So you have to, I mean, that's the progression we got to look at. So it's, though the spirit has always existed, the issue is that it still goes through cycles, and Yahweh goes to, judge whatever the activities are. And I am not coming for that community. I do not condone anything other than the Torah, but I don't judge anybody if you choose not to honor the Torah. The Torah judges that person. The Torah judges that whatever genre, whatever. But at end of day, it doesn't indicate that Lot was a part, because the way that verbiage comes out, it's like he liked that way of life. That you got to be careful with that. He liked being a merchant. They was about their money. They were about their community. That's why the guy, when he met Abraham at the Valley of the Veil, was like, just give us the people, because we'll reestablish wherever we go. You keep the money. We don't need that. We know how to make money. We got a niche, and that's something I don't think we really pay enough attention to in a lot of these instances. So all I can say biblically is that Lot lived amongst them. He lingered. I can attach the linger to the fact that here in the passage, verse number 16, when he says, verse 14, and Lot went out and spake with his sons-in-law, which were married to his daughters, and said, come on, y'all, let's get out of here. Verse 14. I'm going to read it to y'all. Let's look at it. Verse 14. Pay attention to this. He goes up, verse 14. Lot went out, spoke with his sons-in-laws, which were married to his daughters, and said, come on, y'all, let's get out of here. So they usually listen a lot, right? Come on, let's get out of this place, for Yahweh will destroy the city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law, like casting judgment on us, man, get out of here. Yeah, man, whatever. And when the morning came, the angels hastened Lot, like, bro, let's go. Take your wife, take your daughters, which are here, lest you are going to be consumed in the reward of the iniquity of this city. So he lingers because he's hoping that his sons-in-laws would stop by, maybe as they do every morning. We don't know. There's no I don't want to be subjective. Don't want to become eisegetic, and that's where we right now run the risk of. We don't want to run that risk, but the writ does tell us that he talked to his sons-in-law. As a father with sons-in-laws, I understand him lingering because they didn't have cell phones back then. They didn't have texting back then. They didn't have FaceTime. They didn't have WhatsApp. They walked and they talked and they got around. They were up at the crowing of the what's that chicken? The rooster in the morning, and they would engage. So it's like he was lingering maybe to see somebody come through because he had talked to them, hoping that they didn't think he was mocking them and maybe come back and we can chat. Because whoever is with Lot, just like with Noah, they leave with Lot. Whoever leaves with Lot is spared. Again, the righteous piece. So this indicts to Lot, though they were his sons-in-laws, that they did not adhere his patriarchal voice, meaning they were more involved in the city's ways than he may have thought. Now, I could even go there and probably get by with it, but it would be eisegetical. And I can't let any of us become eisegetical or subjective. But we can say without crossing the line that Lot did speak with his family. This is where we in Christendom, especially for those of us who are seminaric, especially for those of us who are producing and ministering to people's souls, you can't push that envelope to where it bursts and we go over the line. Lot is clearly waiting on something. Lot is clearly, by the writ standard, righteous. Lot is clearly lingering. Why? Could it be verse 14? Because when he spoke to his sons-in-laws, they looked at him and he was waiting for them to come by. So they gave Lot time that night to go and talk to his people. The people that he talked to that night looked at him as if he mocked them. He went home hoping they would swing by in the morning. He was lingering while he was packing his grip. And the angel was like, bro, you taking way too much time. So the lingering aspect still has to be connected to the information that the writ provides us.
Spencer.
So when we look at what we talk about here at this point, Lot he's lingering. Verse 16, the men laid hold on his hand. They're like, bro, they took him, say, you taking too much time up. Let's go. I know if y'all like me, when I'm with my family and we trying to get to the airport, and people be lingering, I'm like, it will be left. We will buy new in the city we're getting to. Else this ticket we pay for is going to be, we're gonna miss this flight. You're gonna cost us money. Let's go. Get in the car. You know what I mean? And so the angels are there on assignment. They're like, bro, you. That's why it mentions they lingered. He tarried. He waited longer than he should. Because if you look at the instructions he was given in verse number 12. The men said to Lot, have you any other beside you? Any sons-in-law, sons, daughters, whatsoever you have in this city? Bring them out of this place. For we will destroy this place because of the cry of them. It waxed great before the face of Yahweh, and Yahweh sent us here to destroy it. We are on an assignment. Lot went out that night, spoke to those people which were married, said, get up, get out of this place, pack your stuff, let's go. Yahweh's in the city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons. See, that's where I can see Lot lingering. And when the morning arose, the angels hastened Lot, saying, arise, get up. Lot was still in bed. Get up. Take your wife, get your daughters, get them out of here. That's one warning. Get up. Otherwise, today, which is going to happen, you're going to be consumed in the city. Get up, wake up. So that's the wake up call. Now they've waken up. They've been given ample time to collect their grip, verse 16, and while he lingered, the men say, all right, you know what? No more warnings. Let's go. This is why we got to read that writ slow. This is why I take those times in Bible book club to make sure we look at the entire context of it. Because once we start taking on different ideas, we can always bend out, right? But we got to make sure we don't bend out beyond what the text gives us. That's why I was messing with Prophet, talking about mama bear, baby bear, mama bear, papa bear. I don't see that in the writ, but I get what you're saying. And then Minister Wanda, she's like, he crooked, apostle. He got some money in his pocket. He ain't all the way innocent in this. He like he waiting for that. He waiting for that brick he told him to go cash to come back. I don't know what that means, but That's just how we have to be careful. Our minds can run, our words can begin to articulate our thoughts, but our thoughts, this is something I always tell us, filter every thought. Can anybody finish that phrase?
And imagination.
How? What do you filter it through?
Through his word.
Through the word. So we got to make sure that what we're thinking has a connection to the word in order for that to give us that perspective or that, perception, help our perception. And that's just important. This is probably one of the best conversations I've had on Bible Book Club in a long time. And I'm so glad you guys opened your mouth and allowed that vulnerability and allowed me to help and share when we talk about this together. Pastor Spencer, thank you, Prophet. Thank you, Minister Wanda. And Pastor Spencer, what you got?
Shalom and happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Yeah, this is a great conversation. And as everyone was going back and forth, my heart and mind went to 2 Peter 2, and I'll read that, which hopefully will clarify and answer any other lingering questions out there. I'll start in verse 7. And it says, and delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked, for that righteous man dwelt among them, and seeing and hearing vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. And Yahweh knows how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to rescue the unjust unto the day of judgment, to be punished. And so that to me supports, of course, that deliverance comes to the righteous. And the lingering on Lot's part is probably just that, because then my mind went to when Yahweh told Noah to take him and his family into the ark and shut the door. Noah didn't linger. He immediately obeyed. And when Yahweh told Abram at the time to leave his country and his father's house and go to a place where he would show him, it didn't say that Abram lingered. Even when he was told to offer up Isaac, we talk about that all the time. He didn't linger. He didn't question. And so I agree. I just think Lot's heart was for his family to come in. Now, and 2 Peter supports that.
Right. It supports that about Lot. Now I gotta double back in. You was killing it. You was killing it. And then came Noah. Because Noah did linger.
Noah lingered when he was supposed to go into the ark?
Yeah, he lingered when it was time to shut the ark. Yahweh had to shut the ark.
Yeah, I do remember that.
You understand? Because if it was up to Noah, they'd have all sunk. Because he has still been looking for Cud and Pookie to come around the corner. Okay, now y'all see rain? I told you I was going to rain. Now get your butts in here. They'd have been 18 feet deep by then, So Noah did linger. Noah did linger. And as for Abraham, you're just so right. Abraham, he questioned Elohim a few times. I mean, that 3-day journey, I can only imagine what he was thinking. But the point was, it wasn't that he didn't question it. It was that he did it. You know what I mean, Pastor?
I didn't say he didn't question him. He did it. He obeyed.
Oh, okay.
Now, I'm sure he had a conversation.
I heard you wrong then. Okay, good.
I'm sure he had a conversation.
Oh, he had a question. He had some questions in his head. That's a 3-day journey, and I couldn't tell my wife. And this is the promise that you promised us, and this is what you're doing. You're taking it, lingering to go. How do you walk around your wife and not tell her I'm going to go sacrifice our son? As a man, my children's mother, boy, look here, listen, y'all have been eating me for Thanksgiving. You understand? That's just having fun, guys. I'm just having fun.
Apostle, let me double back about Noah. And the reason said that he didn't linger. I just believe when it said Yahweh shut the door, we know that he shuts doors that no man can open.
That's a Christian narrative. Yes. That is a Christian narrative. That is something we've been fed since we were children, knee high to a grasshopper in Sunday school. That God shuts and opens doors that no man can render. But when you look at that text, matter of fact, let's go there. When you look at that text, but we're going to stick to Genesis because we're still dealing with what happened here in Abraham, but we'll push up to Noah just for the sake of getting where we got to be with that. Noah. Let's go to Genesis 7. So really around verses 13 and where I want to be at, but I sort of kind of guess we gotta. All right, let's take a stab at it. Let's read it in context so we can get the whole story. And Yahweh said unto Noah, verse 1. I'll put this on screen for those of you on Facebook and on YouTube if you want to read it with me. Boom. Boom. All right. Preferences. Screen share. Bam. All right. So those of you who are on screen, I'm going to share this with you guys. Come on, Jones, today. There we go. Perfect. All right. Verse 1. And Yahweh said unto Noah, come thou and all thy house into the ark. For thee I have seen righteous before me in this generation. Of every clean beast thou shalt take by sevens, male, female beasts that are not clean by two, the male and female fowls, the air by seven, males, females, keeps to keep seed alive upon the face of the earth. Verse 4, top of your screens. For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. Every living substance that I have made, I will destroy from the face of the earth. Noah did according to all that Yahweh commanded him. Now remember, Noah's been doing this. Noah's been doing this too. Keep this in mind. How long has Noah been building this ark? Anybody know?
120 years.
So he's waiting for that say go, right? 120 years. How long was Lot aware that he was about to get his city destroyed?
Yeah, overnight.
A couple hours, right? So Noah says, as we look at this, he says, I will cause it to rain, verse 4, I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights of everything of substance. Verse 5, Noah did according to what Yahweh had commanded him. Noah was 600 years old when the flood of waters was upon the earth. Noah went in, his sons, his wife, his sons' wives with him into the ark because of the waters of the flood. Of clean beasts that are not clean, foul, everything that creepeth upon the earth. Verse 9, top of your screen, verse 9. There went in two unto Noah into the ark, male and female, as Elohim had commanded Noah. Came to pass in 7 days, after 7 days, that the waters of the flood were now upon the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, the 7th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of the heavens were opened up, and the rain was upon the earth 40 days, 40 nights. In the selfsame day that Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth and the sons of Noah, Noah's wife and 3 wives of Noah's sons and them in the ark, they and every beast of every kind, all the cattle after their kind, every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, every fowl after its kind, every bird after every sort. And they went in unto Noah into the ark, 2 by 2 of all that were flesh, wherein were the breath of life. I'm in verse 16, top of your screen. And they that went in male and female, flesh of all flesh, as Elohim commanded him, and Yahweh shut him in. Now, when we talk about Yahweh shutting them in, we're talking about he shut in them who were the Ham, Shem, Japheth, Him, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, 4, their wives, and then the animals. So when they got there, Yahweh shuts the door. He doesn't let Noah do it. Noah's opened and shut that door in the build of that ark on many occasions. The waters are also there. So the waters are happening, and Noah still does have family there. Yahweh has to shut that door, not just because of the waters, but Noah's human. Noah has family. 125 years, this moment has been waited upon, and now the day has come. 125 years. I don't think we really see how significant 125 years, but we're going to talk about that right now. So we're reading that piece. Talk to me, Pastor Spencer. What else do you see, beloved?
Well, I'm kind of stuck still on my initial comment because it said Noah went in and Yahweh shut the door. So Noah did what Yahweh asked him to do. He didn't linger. That was my point. You said that he did linger.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to see here
right
where he lingered.
So when he says that when they went in unto Noah into the ark, 2 of 2, and all the flesh wherein is the breath of life. Shutting that door and going in that ark are two different things. He's in the ark because he's the magnet that every animal, every fowl, every beast of the field is coming to. By sevens, by 2, by male, by female. He in that ark are where the people are, where the animals are coming to. The unit that I love about this story that we don't talk about enough, maybe one day we should, is how Yahweh used man who is in dominion of the earth. He gives Noah that charge that these animals came in where Noah was. Noah did go into the ark. He didn't linger about that, but shutting that door to the ark. Maybe that's what I should have qualified in enhancing your statement. And like, I wasn't coming for your statement. I'm just saying that the linger part, when Yahweh has to intervene, like he had to intervene with Lot. All right, y'all taking too long. Come on. No, Noah did not linger going into the ark, but being in the ark is not what's going to save you. That ark being shut for the purpose for why it was built, that's where the saving comes in at. Makes sense, Pastor? I think I should have probably qualified that better.
That helped a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, we good.
Being in the ark, moving to the ark, not stuttering, because the animals need him to be in the ark to find him. So where he is, they're going to go. They're going to stop. They're going to graze. So him in the ark, the animals are now honed in to Noah's scent, vibe, signal, whatever you want to call it. Noah's in the ark. The animals come to Noah. Noah's in the ark. But shutting that ark door at the time is ready to go. Yeah, Noah's still looking for family to come. So that probably was a better way of putting it. He did not hesitate. I will know you are completely correct. He did not hesitate. He did not tarry getting into the ark. Shutting that ark, different conversation. Because now that's a finalizing of fate. And I believe that Lot also, did I hear you? Someone spoke up?
No, I was going to say, well, Yahweh wouldn't shut the door until Noah was inside.
No, Noah was in first. You see, we watch this closely. Noah is in the ark first. Then the animals come. Noah is the homing device. The animals come to Noah in the ark. Verse 15, and they went in unto Noah into the ark. So Noah's in the ark. They come in the ark. Shutting that door to the ark is a whole different conversation. And that's where I should have made that clearer as to the great point you made that Noah did not hesitate in that respect. But I believe he hesitated enough that Yahweh had to shut the door. Like, okay, Noah, enough waiting. Let's go. Okay, Lot, enough waiting. Let's go. Because even Lot, he didn't hesitate when, you know, when the angels told him, let's go to that Genesis 19. Let's go back to Genesis 19, Genesis 19, verse 13. He says, we will destroy this place because of the cry of them that's waxed great before the face of Yahweh. He sent us to destroy it. Lot went right out. He spoke to his sons-in-laws. He didn't hesitate. He went and told them, like Noah, he got in the ark. He's in place. But he lingered in that place too long. And that's where I also think Noah did as well in the ark, because Yahweh had to shut the door himself. Well, he shut the door because it's been hard. He shut the door. No, Noah's been shutting and making that. Noah made that door. Noah know how to shut that door. Yahweh shut. Well, he shut it because that's Yahweh. And like you said, Pastor, and the preach of that is not wrong. You know what I mean? If Yahweh shuts a door, no man can open it, right? And if Yahweh opens the door, no man can shut it. But that's a narrative that we have been pushed, and some use that scenario. But that shutting of that ark door in Noah's day wasn't because Yahweh needed to shut the door. Noah knew how to shut the door. Noah lingered. It implies that he lingered, hoping, you know, what do we call it? Waiting out the possibility that somebody sees rain sprinkles that he knows and say, hey, you know, maybe Noah was right. Let's get in the ark, you know, because whoever's in the ark is going to be saved. Yahweh has to shut the door. They've been in the ark for a minute. That's how the animals got in the ark, because Noah is in the ark. Not because Ham, not because Japheth, not because of Shem, but because of Noah. That's how the animals come into the ark. Because they come to Noah, where he is. He's in the ark. He didn't hesitate getting in the ark. But shutting that door, yeah, that's a different story. Lot, he doesn't hesitate to go into the streets and tell his family that matter, hey, this is what's going to go down. You tripping, Pop. Get out of here. Son, daughter, hey, come on, y'all. He goes home, sleeps it off, wakes up. They got to wake him up. They have to literally wake him up and then get him going. He starts his day. He's lingering because it's, you know, there's a probability and a possibility that he's waiting for those he cares about, hoping they'll come by. Maybe they do every morning or on an average, as is customary. So those are the things that we can in some way connect to the what we had laid out in the writ. But I do believe earnestly that Noah lingered with respects to shutting the ark, not getting in it. You're right. He did not linger to get into the ark. Abraham did not linger to get out the house, right? He did not linger obeying the commandment because he knew, you know, Yahweh would do. Noah did not linger getting into the ark because this is a moment, this is a time. Lot did not linger getting out to his family and saying, hey, warning them, let's go. But I believe Noah lingered shutting that ark door, which is why Yahweh had to intervene and shut the door in a same way Lot lingered, though packed. I mean, I really think he was packed. You believe he was packed, right?
Yeah.
Anybody else believe he was packed?
Amen.
Yeah, he was packed, but he's waiting around like, man, I hope Johnny show up. Man, maybe I can say it better. I can only imagine. Now, again, that would be pushing, again, another line to subjectiveness. But we do have enough of the writ to connect that there is not an inaccuracy in the angels moving them because he lingered. I cannot say he lingered because he was unrighteous. Again, I was going to go to 2 Peter, but you got there, Pastor. Thank you, because that helps the Bible study. And Peter's storyline, he's righteous. He was vexed by the conversation. So I can't say that he was culpable of what was going on in that city. But I do know for a fact that he lingered and they had to move him because he was waiting for something. And to me, as a father and as a head of a company, and if my children are in that company, in-laws or not, I'm wanting hope. Fortunately for him, he had 2 daughters survive. Noah had 3 sons and 3 new daughters survive, and his wife. But that linger part, yeah, I think Noah, I really believe Noah lingered in the shutting of that door. That's why Yahweh had to shut him in. But see, this is good conversation. I like this. This is how you actually stretch your thinking, because we all have perspectives and we all have perceptions. Some of them are just based on doctrine we've known and that is familiar and we can default to because it's been drilled into us. And even myself, I have to constantly go back over what was I told? What does the writ say? What supported it? What proved it? Are there 2 or 3 witnesses for it? And this is the fun of Bible Book Club. Are y'all having fun?
Yeah, good conversation. Yes.
Leslie.
If you, as long, Leslie, you can have, as long as you're not gonna talk about Mama Bear and Papa Bear, Pastor Prophet Leslie.
I just want to say that how the mind thinks, even when Pastor Spencer was reading that, and it's like, oh yeah, I knew that, but my mind went back to what I thought. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it made perfect sense. You said exactly what we're saying in essence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking about while you're talking? Y'all know anybody else who lingered? Though they did not hesitate to get in the vessel, they did linger.
Yeshua.
Who said that?
Wanda.
You need to stop breaking rules. You're a moderator. No wonder people come on here all out of order and just saying stuff. You a moderator. Say your name.
I got the revelation.
Say your name.
Wanda.
Does anybody agree with that? Now that you've heard the story of the Garden of Gethsemane,
Yeah, he did.
I agree.
did he not linger?
He did linger.
Now, did he hesitate to get into that body? No, he did not. But did he hesitate? Did he linger? Which that's what the whole Garden of Gethsemane was about. Him lingering, like, damn, I don't wanna, they don't deserve. That Minister Philip said, oh, Yeshua lingered just like Lot, like, I don't want to. Lot was like, where are my babies? Yeshua was like, they get on my nerve. I love these kind of conversations. Y'all have made my night. Man, I promise you. That was almost as good as sweet potato pie. No, I'm stretching. I'm being subjective. Was that eisegetical? Almost as good as sweet potato pie?
That was your call.
I think it was better.
Oh.
Wanda.
My order in this house. Hallelujah. Yes.
Just want to thank Pastor Spencer for that scripture.
Oh, yes.
Helped me a lot. What you were saying, and although not like I didn't believe you, but that helped bring greater understanding to what you were saying.
That's a great point. I want to stick a pin there for anybody who might be visiting with us for the first time. If you might think that there was like some, they disagreeing. No, this is conversation. This is conversation that needs to be had that unfortunately most within Christendom don't know how to have without saying, I got to be right, you got to be wrong. And matter of fact, since you won't be wrong, I'm mad at you. And now I'm going to talk like I'm from the hood, no, we ain't doing that. And what Pastor Spencer brought was in my head. I forgot to bring it out because I was trying to make another point. And that's how fivefold ministry is supposed to work. And when fivefold ministry is in the same place, you're always going to get harmony. And harmony requires that the alto sings their part, the soprano sings their part, and the tenor and bass sing their part. One goes high, one goes low, one stays mid, whatever that looks like, but they run in their lane. And that's what brings the harmony that makes the sound of the word so beautiful and the revelation so real. Because now you're like, oh, I didn't see that. Now, I knew what I was saying. Pastor Spencer was in the background like, okay, there is a passage that supports this. And Minister Wanda, she's already running her scenario in her head. You know, Lot was a thug. He had some money hid somewhere that he was in there. He was a little complicit. That's why he was hanging around. Somebody owed him some money. He was waiting for the money to come. And I'm just playing with that. But that's how fivefold ministry is supposed to be. That's how Bible study is supposed to be. And it's not an argument. There's no fight. You know, and then you get people like Prophet Leslie talking about bears and stuff. She was way down in Noah and we were up in Lot. You know, she got the bear and the mama bear. They was with Noah, Prophet. They weren't with Lot. They were with Noah. They were.
Thank you so much.
Y'all don't. My jokes are funny.
They are funny, sir.
Pastor Spencer, it was funny, wasn't it?
Not really, but okay.
You know what, Pastor Spencer?
But I do have my own shit. That one wasn't funny.
This is fivefold ministry working together.
She was in Noah, Mama Bear, Papa Bear. We were talking about Lot being a crook.
He was a thug.
He did withstand.
Prophetic.
Hey.
Operating in the prophetic.
In the prophetic. But wait, no, stop. No, see, now I got to correct that because the prophetic means going forward. Lot to Noah is going backwards. Look, Lot was way up the road. She prophetically went backwards. No, I can't. I'm sorry. This is what I love about Bible studies. It allows you to speak your piece and speak what you see, what you think you see, you understand, and then work through it with what we call witness. Even to the point where you and then you have the role of the apostle to make sure that we do not run into the eisegetics, which are so potentially available. They are just available to do that. And many things have been established as doctrine based on perspective. And if you don't have anything to connect the perspective, stitched, braided firmly within, one and all must be careful, because we will lead people astray. Now, Mama Bear and Papa Bear were in Noah. Okay. Lot, I'm sure there were bears around. All right. But Mama Bear and Papa Bear were Noah in the ark. I'm just put that out there last time. And then the prophetic of this would mean that the prophecy would be going forward. Lot to Noah is going backwards. All right. I'm just going to put that out there and leave that there for us to contemplate. All right. Pastor Spencer, you said.
That's why you're the teacher.
Pastor Spencer, you said you had a thought.
I love this. This is good conversation and good study. So I also was thinking when you asked who else lingered besides Adonai or Yeshua.
The question was who else lingered, and then Yeshua was the answer to that question. What else you got?
Yeah. Would it be accurate to also say that Peter,
Absolutely.
when he followed at a distance, he was lingering?
Peter is who Minister Wanda should be talking about, not Lot.
I love Peter. Peter is my favorite.
Peter, my dude, but Peter was like, no, sassafras, censor. I ain't saved.
Yeah, I like Peter.
Peter was like, you touched who? What you put your hands on him for?
Yeah, let's do this.
Here, how about this? Even, but you know, every time I think about that story with Peter cutting up that man's ear, I think about something not talked about enough. Messiah picked that man's ear up. And just put it back on his head. Man didn't go to the doctors. Man didn't get no sutures.
Yes.
Man didn't get no chloroform. There was no betadine.
And everything was connected.
Every time I think about that, I'm like, I'm stuck there. Then in that same storyline with Peter cutting off the ear, before the ear gets cut off, the Adonai in Yeshua is revealed. Messiah, Yeshua, does not do, for a second, the prophecy of Isaiah 53. As a lamb before her slaughter, butchers, is dumb, and as a sheep before her shearers is dumb, and a lamb says not a word. When he is accosted by the priests, by the temple guard, he wasn't supposed to say nothing. And he says, I am. And the Bible says that they fell down backwards, all 50, that they fell down backwards as dead men. Messiah, realizing what happened, woke them all up. And in the VWJ translation, he said, arrest of Yeshua, take 2. Try it again. I love that story. Y'all didn't get that? Y'all don't get that? Nobody?
Yeah.
No, nobody? No.
Yeah. We'd like to hear you tell it every time.
I'm sitting there like they like, are you
It was funny one day.
are you Yeshua? He says, I am, and they fell down backwards as dead. That's
the power.
That's the word. That's Adonai in them. How do you arrest? How do you come to arrest the living word? And he had to realize I wasn't supposed to say nothing. I was supposed to keep my mouth shut. He wakes them up. He wakes them up. He could have broke camp.
That's so true.
He could have broke camp. They're knocked out, all 50 of them. Knocked out like dead men. He could have walked away. Did y'all read that in the writ? And then when he wakes them up, he says, Arresting Yeshua, scene 2, take 2. They ask him, he goes with them. Then Peter jumps in to cut off the guy's ear. Then he picks the man's ear up and put it back on his head. Y'all think about that. Let that sink in.
Did you say that was a signs and wonder moment?
Absolutely. A wonder. He was wonderful.
Wonderful, yes.
Now, the sign would be the day they were being arrested. That's the signs of the time. What he did was wonder that was fully within him, manifesting in the natural realm. Yeah. Okay, guys, I've kept y'all longer tonight than I have on just about any other Bible book club night. Usually it's about an hour, but this is your Thanksgiving version. Some of y'all have been eating and enjoying your family, and I hope I'm not taking you away. I've taken you away from your family for 3 hours. We were not supposed to be here this long. Will y'all forgive me, please?
Forgive us.
All right. Okay. So this again is the Bible Book Club. We are glad to be here with you all. My name is Apostle B.W. Jones. Remember, on this coming Friday night, we're going to be having what is known as our Proceeding Word, which is actually tomorrow. That's going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that will be talking about, should man submit to a woman? Let me ask y'all guys a question real quick before we get off of this. Did anybody catch the first part of Proceeding Words, Ephesians 5:21 series on submitting yourselves one to another? And that part was, can a woman submit to a man who is not led by Elohim? Part 1. Did y'all enjoy that? Did anybody enjoy that?
Very much so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, it was great.
All right, good. Did anybody have a takeaway from that? If y'all listened to it, if y'all watched it, if y'all was a part of it?
It put a lot of things into perspective.
Who's that? Is that a moderator? Is that Prophet Leslie?
Yes.
You and Minister Wanda gonna stop bringing disorder to my platform. Y'all gonna say y'all names when y'all come on. One of the people gonna do it.
I repent.
I hear you. So, Prophet Leslie, what were you gonna say?
It brought a lot of perspective. It put things in perspective. Put things in order to the way things should be done and said. And it was very healthy. I think it was a healthy conversation because it brought light to life in the situation of what it means for a woman to submit herself to her husband.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. Well, now we're going to be moving quickly into this next one, which is going to be tomorrow's program at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This one will be about submitting one to the other. But this is going to be about, should a man submit to a woman? Yes, but should a man submit to a woman who's not led by Elohim? Part 2. Interesting. All right, so we'll be here for that tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It also happens to be our Sabbath when we enter into our Shabbats and our Midrash studies on Shabbat, which we usually do them at around Friday at around 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And after a brief rest and sleep, we get back up in around 7, or Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Usually it's around noon, really. we'll do another study where we open up our Bibles and we have conversations like this that sort of kind of expose what's in the writ that we had just been hiding under sermons. And that's what we do on our Sabbaths. Then on Sunday, we do what's known as our morrow after Sabbath service. And that's going to be every Sunday at about 10:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I hope that you all are able to join us in those particular studies and those efforts to learn, as we're going to be talking about the tithe, part 5. The tithe, part 5. Controversial subject, the origin and the truth about the tithe. We're hoping that you'll join us in for those times of studies. We know that you'll be gleaning and enjoying them as you, I pray, are today in the Bible Book Club. So my name is Apostle V.W. Jones Sr. We have had a wonderful time studying with you guys. I'm hoping that you'll join back in next week as we look to attack. Where did we stop? Where did we stop today? Chapter 19. We're going to say we stopped at 16, 17?
16.
16 is where we stop. We'll pick up at 19, 17. All right. No worries on the notes. We'll just pick back up and just drive right in on that and go from that point. Those of you who are with us tomorrow, listen, if you're in Clubhouse, would you please ask the moderators for that PTR that we have? I'll be switching mine back as soon as this broadcast is over. The PTRs we have to sort of kind of support, maybe drive a little traffic regarding the subject matter of this Ephesians 5:21 series on submitting yourselves one to the other, and specifically part 2, which will be for submitting man to woman in the fear of Yahweh or Elohim. So if you want to ask our moderators in the back channel for that PTR, we would like for you guys that are part of the Proceeding Word membership and audience to post that as your PTR on tomorrow or tonight until tomorrow, until that broadcast is over. We're asking that of you. Y'all know I don't do a lot of advertising, but for some reason I think that that's going to be enough of a topic to get us driving in a certain direction with some momentum. And then if you come in tomorrow on the Proceeding Word, would you please, when you come in on the videos of our live streams, please hit the heart sign or the like sign and then make a comment. It triggers algorithms for the ministry to be put into the sight of others who may, like you, find this of interest. FaceTime, Facebook, and all these groups, they do all this stuff with their algorithms. They know people like you who like what you like, and they would put this in front of them. I want to make sure that they get a chance to tune in, not because we did it, but because the algorithm says, hey, we think you might like this kind of subject. That's why we ask you to come in, and as soon as you come in, hit the heart sign, make a comment. And this way the algorithms get triggered and they will show that there is a actual trend on the subject and topics. Now, you can and you don't have to, but I hope you would. I would like it if you would do it. All right, we're gonna let you guys get out of here, get some rest, go eat your sweet potato pie, apple pie, get your ice creams and your eggnogs and all that you're doing, get it in, but don't forget to hit the gym tomorrow. If you don't hit the gym, make sure you go walking, get exercise, burn off some of these calories you've consumed. Let us be wise stewards over this vessel that Yahweh has given us. You cannot evangelize his gospel and be broke down. Y'all know that, right?
Yes, sir.
That part.
Yes.
That part. It's been my honor teaching you guys. I'm going to let you guys go. Father, in the name of our Savior, who is Yeshua HaMashiach, we do bless, exalt, and extol you for who you are and why you are. We're asking now that you be with us, in us, through us, and toward us for your name's sake and for your praise. This day is an opportunity, not because of the man-made holiday of Thanksgiving, but because of just the fact that you gave us life this morning. We say thank you. Thank you for life, health, and strength. Thank you for your word and a conversation within it. Now we pray, bless us to rise tomorrow morning as you have given us purpose. In the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, we pray and say, Amen. It's been a joy chatting with you. Hope to see you again real soon. Have a wonderful day. Room will end in 5, 4, 3, 2,
Shalom.
and 1.